Alrighty, this is just because I couldn't let this shit ride. Now, many of you might know based off of the John Jones video I had done that I followed the UFC and MMA. Now, what you also need to understand is there's been a lot of other videos that I've done that I haven't released yet on this topic of UFC, MMA, so on and so forth. But let's talk about this Stipe Miocic's character, cause if you follow the UFC, you know that Stipe is supposed to fight DC for a third time. That's the only fight that makes sense. But he doesn't want those problems. He is afraid of Daniel Cormier. And you might be like, oh, how's he afraid of Daniel Cormier? He just beat him. Okay, let me break that down. First time they fought, Daniel bumped back up to heavyweight, knocked Stipe out first round. And anybody that has been a heavyweight that long and the champion that long, if you've been a champion that long at anything, you get beat, you're gonna want the rematch. Okay, so Stipe eventually gets his rematch once things finally finalized because Daniel was obviously looking to fight Brock Lesnar because that would be a bigger fight. Stipe is not a he's not a what motherfucking Dana White calls a needle mover. Okay, Stipe is not a needle mover, and for him to fight DC, that would be a big fight. That's what people want to see. But the reason and his reasons for not wanting to fight him again are, oh, he didn't get lucky. He says he didn't get lucky when he beat him the second time because it took him 4 rounds to do it. He figured him out. Okay. Which is, if you would have said that about the first fight, that you getting knocked out wasn't lucky either, But he makes it seem as if Daniel luckily knocked him out in that first fight. But if you look, Stipe was losing all the rounds in that second fight. Now, some judges might give him a round. No, Stipe was losing every single round of that fight. And up until that 4th round, he turned it around and got the knockout. And the only reason he did that is because Daniel was playing into the hands of Stipe. He was trying to knock him out instead of using his best attribute, which is the wrestling. And like the reason he was able to knock him out the first time is because Stipe was so threatened by Daniel's wrestling ability that it left him susceptible to these type of shots. Okay? So let's just get that in the clear. Daniel Cormier is a much better fighter than Stipe. Stipe knows this. He knows that he's just a complete, all-around complete better fighter than Stipe is. If Stipe felt that he could beat Daniel Cormier in their third fight, then everybody wants this fight. Everybody wants this fight. Now he's trying to sell a fight out of nowhere with Tyson Fury, who's never ever competed in MMA before. He wants that easy fight, which makes sense. But the thing about this is, when DC was going to fight Brock is a former heavyweight champion in the UFC and in the World Wrestling Federation. And on top of that, former NFL athlete. But he's been proven. It's not like DC was just trying to fight some super fight that's easy, which I do think DC could handle Brock in a slightly easy fashion, just because of how technical he is if he uses it to his ability. But it's still not an easy task. It's going against a proven fighter, a proven champion. in the heavyweight division. So to try to pretend Stipe is not trying to take the easy way out, I think this is very cowardly of Stipe to do. I mean, it's pussy. You know, you did all that crying. You did all that crying to get your second fight, your rematch. You finally got it. Well, this is what I'm trying to say. Whenever you were going into that rematch, you had to have known in your head, if you win, that people are going to want to see the fucking third fight. Uh, that's a no-brainer. So Stipe trying to act like he doesn't want this fight is a obvious cowardness. It's blatant pussy. All right, he's afraid of DC. All right, that's what it is. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way around it. Stipe does not want any of those DC problems, even though he won that second fight. But he only won it due to the lack of Daniel Cormier's willingness to stick to his game plan. Had DC just stuck to the game plan, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But I'll give it to him. He won that second fight, but I guarantee you, he's overplaying this eye injury, and he's trying to get all the attention off of him and Daniel Cormier, as if people are just gonna forget. Like, no, we want to see that fight, and until Stipe signs that dotted line, I'm definitely going to label him as a coward. I think he's running from Daniel Cormier, waiting for Daniel Cormier to either retire or get to the point where, it's been such a while now that it's almost pointless for them to even fight. I think that's what Stipe is hoping for, or for people to jump on board and not really be as interested in that fight. That's what he's hoping for, but I'm here to let you know that this is a coward move. He's trying to hold the heavyweight belt hostage. He does not want any of the problems that Daniel Cormier presents for him. And I'll be doing a lot more MMA videos and breaking down some UFC shit, because it's a real hot time for UFC and MMA. Bellator is hot. ONE FC is hot. It's a really good time for MMA fighting world. So I'll be jumping into this shit a lot more. But I just wanted to put this one out here real quick, so most motherfucking hype.